Hey guys, about to play the second round of a Battle for Zendikar draft. We are 1-0 so far with our black-white deck, which is kind of a life gain deck, kind of a ingest deck a little bit. It has two processors, but it's not really, it has 1 foot in each archetype, sort of, so it's not as focused as I would like it to be, but we did win round one. It's basically a control deck filled with really good removals, so works out pretty well, whether or not we have the pieces of certain archetypes that we want. This is an interesting hand, and I think it's a keep. I may not have an early drop myself, but I have a way to interact with his early creatures, and I have removal, lots of it, and there's another way to interact with early creatures, so Gideon's Reproach and Demon's Grasp should do some work here. I mean, Complete Disregard. Demon's Grasp I'm sure will eventually. Same with Grip of Desolation. See if he has a 2-drop. Doesn't look like it, and we actually managed to draw a 3-drop creature in the event that we want to be playing it next turn. Drawing some lands would be good since we have some high curve stuff in our hand, so hopefully we do. Blue-red, so our opponent could be that archetype, or he could just be, a blue-red deck. Hey, Stasis Snare. We're going to go ahead and play Shadow Glider. See if our opponent lets it live or not. So we have 3 removal spells in our hand that we can play. That is a bad sign. It may mean that he has lots of Eldrazi. Ooh, land destruction. That's pretty brutal against us right now. But we just drew a land that sort of erases the problem, but it's still not a great problem to have. Be nice to have 4 lands instead of 3 right now, for example. So we'll play our next land in the turn. Incubator Drone, okay. Okay, and Lava Step Raider, sure. I think I'm going to exile the Incubator Drone with Complete Disregard right now. Good news is, even if our opponent has big scary Eldrazi, we can still Stasis Snare them. Alright, well, we continue to be not in the greatest place land-wise, in part courtesy of our opponent. But we're going to swing now with our Shadow Glider. Yeah, he's got a lot of mana, that's for sure. And we do not. Managed to get a lot of our top curve cards too. Wow, Rolling Thunder. Yeah, that's good. I kind of forgot that existed in this format. All right, then. We're just going to take these. They don't concern me a whole lot, and if I can use Gideon's Reproach and something a little more valuable, I will. Falling Wilds is certainly helpful right now. We'll end our turn. Rolling Thunder. It's brutal. I say we take another 2. And there's a Wavewing Elemental. If he plays a land next turn, I won't be able to kill it with Gideon's Reproach, but if he doesn't, I will. Should I use Stasis Snare on it? I think I will use Stasis Snare on it. It would have been nice to use it on something a little even scarier than that, like an Eldrazi or something, but we're so behind on board here that I think we need to do it. And we'll get a Swamp. And good, we drew a land, which is definitely what we wanted to do, and we'll play our Calastria Night Watch. If we draw one more land, we can even kill an Eldrazi with our Grip of Desolation. So we have exiled one card. Actually, we've exiled two. This one just doesn't show up as exiled. So if we get our 5-mana processor, we can process and get 3 Eldrazi tokens. That's pretty good. Okay, turn against. That's going to hurt. But it uses up a card in his hand, and I'm still alive. So that's pretty good. Okay, still alive, and he's got 1 card left in his hand, so it's pretty good. He may have a way to burn me out next turn, though. Like another Rolling Thunder, for example. Rolling Thunder is just a degenerate card, as you probably know. Right, well, we're going to swing with our Night Watch. We have ways to deal with this Lava Step Raider should it become a problem. And I'm also just going to play a 2/1 blocker. Our opponent has another Rolling Thunder. He can only do 4 to us, actually. So, okay, well, now he can do 5 to us. Got lots of nice stuff in our hand and a decent board, but our life isn't where we'd like it to be. It'd be nice to draw some of our life gain dudes. We have 3 or 4 of them, I think. Of course, one of them costs 7 mana, so we're definitely blocking that. There's not really a good reason not to. Yeah, I think he realized that. I mean, I could use Gideon's Reproach instead, but instead I'll block, and then if he uses a combat trick, I'll use Gideon's Reproach. Okay. Now we have enough mana for Grip of Desolation, should that become relevant. Now we definitely have enough mana for it. I think I just swing with both and leave mana up, because if he has a dude with haste, which is possible, it's pretty scary. Maybe I should play the Geyserfield Stalker, though, because at least he can block. He would need a guy with haste and a removal spell, and the guy with haste would have to be big enough. So yeah, we'll continue to develop the board and play out our Geyserfield Stalker. And actually, we can cast Gideon's Reproach anyway because of our Eldrazi Scion, so it's even better. So our opponent, we have lethal on the table right now if things stay the way they are, and if he plays a blocker, it's not going to matter because we can kill it. So see what he has in store for us. Pretty glad I stasis snared this thing because it was going to get ugly. Turn against again. Okay. That is going to force us to block with our guy and keep him alive for a turn, theoretically. I mean, we don't have to block with our guy, and I guess I won't. I'll just go to 2. Yeah. Okay, so we don't want to show him Grip of Desolation if I don't have to. I don't remember if I used it in the first game. So I'm just going to use Demon's Grasp, which is less something that you can't play around, really. So Grip of Desolation, you can't really play around either, I guess. But all right, on to game 2. Our deck had a slow start, but ended up, winning in the end with our big 4/5 and card advantage through various good deals on spells. I say we just leave things the way they are. Chitahagra, I mean, life gain against him does seem pretty good because he's so all out, like trying to like damage us. Like the way we saw him using his spells was pretty reckless. It almost killed us, got us to 2 life, but it was pretty reckless. He could have used turn against it as an instant when I was swinging and ended up doing a lot more work with it. And that's something I need to keep in mind that he has in the event that he realizes he can use it that way. But I think I have enough life gain in my deck as it is that I think it's in pretty good shape. So I think we just keep things as is and hope for more of the same. Haven't gotten our Blight Herder yet, our cool rare that we first picked. This is a keep. His deck has enough small creatures that complete disregard's very good, and we have a decent curve topper. So, all right, Lava Step Raider doesn't worry me, and we just drew a 2-drop, so we're drawing pretty well. So we're gonna play that Castigator next turn. Opponent swings at us for 1. Yeah, this is what I mean by him using his spells recklessly. I don't advise using your spells the way this guy is. He's going for like all-out damage, but if he holds on to that, he can use it to trade with, say, my core Castigator and keep his creature alive. Granted, his creature's not the coolest, but just some tips in case you make some of these plays as well. I would advise against doing them in the future because it just doesn't get him any value. I mean, he used up a card, and yeah, he did 4 damage to me, but it's really only a good idea to use those kinds of spells if you're going to be able to do lethal like that turn or the next turn with the help of other spells. So I don't think it's the best play in the world, and we'll take this. He may pump his guy. If he does, that's fine. We'll take 3. And the next turn after if he decides to pump his guy again, we'll complete disregard it. So doesn't look like he is. Probably means he's playing something else in main phase 2. Or he has something else at least that I should be keeping in mind. Okay, that is getting disregarded completely, in fact. Yeah, we're going to use complete disregard right now. And swing in for our own 3 damage. And we'll end our turn there. Next turn, whether I play Shadow Glider or use Complete Disregard, I'm not sure. It seems more likely like I'll play Shadow Glider to develop my board a little bit before I pick a target for Complete Disregard. Okay, Rush of Ice. He doesn't have the mana for Awaken, which is kind of too bad because we could have exiled his land. But yeah, so our guy's not going to untap. He can hit us for 3 if he wants to. Doesn't look like he wants to. There's a Stasis Snare, which is pretty good. I do think I play my Shadow Glider. I'm going to leave 1 wide up, so it looks like I have that Lithomancer's combat trick, which I don't have, as you can see. But okay, Spell Shrivel. Okay. Our opponent down to 1 card. We still have all kinds of action in our hand, so that's pretty nice. Anticipate. If I draw a land, I'd probably play Geyserfield Stalker. Seems like the best play. He may soon have mana for turn against, in which case I need to start being a little more careful. Because it is an instant, and that's a card I recommend people keep in their mind when they're playing this format. If your opponent has 4 mana and 1 red colorless, and they're just chilling there with all that mana, it probably means they have turn against, and it's going to hurt because they can make 2 of your creatures kill each other basically, and that's bad if you didn't know. So we're going to play our Geyserfield Stalker here. First, we're going to swing for 3. Okay. 3, go to 14. See if he has another Spell Shrivel for us. Rather he use it on the 2 spells he's hit with it than like our Stasis Snare or Angel of Renewal. So we're in pretty good shape, I think, because we have 2 cards that can deal with any threats he plays, and we have another good finisher in addition to our Geyser Field Stalker. We're just going to take this. He could have turn against, which is entirely possible. If he does, I may have to like complete disregard my own guy. No, he's tapping his mana out, so he doesn't have turn against. That's fine. Okay, Reckless Cohort. Okay, Demon's Grasp, huh? I know I want to kill that guy. He doesn't have enough mana. If he gets 1 more mana, he can hit us for 5 with that. So that's pretty big, but I think I'm just going to use Complete Disregard, get this guy out of the way, and swing for 6. We have 2 cards that we can process, and the mana to play our processor guy, so hopefully our opponent doesn't have like an all-out turn where he can kill us. It seems unlikely, unless he has Rolling Thunder, which we've already seen. So we'll swing for 6, drop him to 8. If we get a land drop next turn, we'll be pretty happy. Rolling Thunder would only do 3 right now, actually, so I mean, he could kill both of our creatures, which would suck, but it wouldn't be the end of the world, or the end of the game, for that matter, so it'd be nice to get that Angel of Renewal out there. Just the life gain against an opponent like this where they have tons of combat tricks and Rolling Thunder would be pretty nice, I think. But we're short 1 mana. If he swings with this thing again, I'm going to be kind of surprised because it opens him up to taking 3. Yeah, okay. If he swing, I don't know, that's not even proper English. If he had swung with it again, I would have been worried he had lethal damage. So we're going to try to just win the game right here. Although he may have turn against, I think it's probably worth playing around that to just swing with my Geyser Field Stalker, who he can't block. If he steals my own guy and blocks the Geyser Field Stalker, okay, he didn't do that. He thinks he can block there, but he can't, so he just takes 3. So it appears. And we're just going to hang back with Stasis Snare at the ready. Although I could just kill this guy now. And yeah, no, I'm not going to, though. I may as well wait to use Stasis Snare in response to a combat trick or something. Okay, that's a mistake, clearly. He only gets it until end of turn, and my turn is over. So I get it back. The opponent having a rough time. Yeah, if he'd played that when he wanted to, I would have had. He would have had to trade 2 of his creatures. So playing around turn against with Geyser Field Stalker is pretty good because at least he would have lost 1 of his own creatures, and it would have just been a 2 for 2. So that's something to keep in mind. An interaction I hadn't thought of that came up in this game. Thanks for watching. We're 2-0. See if we can go undefeated in the next round. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment.